Hello everyone, this is V Buzzing with V. Welcome to another video. Today's video is a project share and craft with me using the Tulip die by scrapdivadesigns.com. Check out all of her information. I will have everything linked below. So these are the dies I'm using. You get so many pieces in the die. It's originally for a mini album. I'm using it as a MemoryDex card. This is my project for the Blooming Wild weekend we had in New Jersey with Paige Evans, Shar Crane, and Kelly Day and myself. I'm using the Blooming Wild collection by Paige Evans. I saw that she had a bee in the collection and absolutely went crazy for it. So I did have to make it enlarged and also make an SVG file. I'm using embroidery thread as well. All of the pieces here I'm sharing for free, so it'll be linked below. Be sure to grab that, and that way you can make this. If you do not have a Cricut or a Silhouette machine, download the digital file by AC Digitals. I will have them linked below. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together. Before I do that, I'm going to add some embroidery. I would have used the digital file have I had ink in my printer, but I didn't, so I created an SVG file. So luckily I was able to do that. So with a pencil I'm drawing some leaves per se, and what I do is I draw a V for the leaves and just a line for the vine. So I am using this tool here. It's a piercing tool. You are able to use your sewing machine. That is a crafty lift from Craft Purge. I will have her linked below so you can check her out. She has an amazing channel. So I'm going to continue to pierce some holes in the bottom half of the tulip, and like so. Here's the back so you can see what I've done. And what I like to do is I like to do the vine first on the stem, then I come back down and do the leaves. Real quick, I do have a discount code for you if you'd like to save at scrapdivadesigns.com. It's V10%. That's VEE and the percent sign. So I left this in on the video. I wanted to show you that there is a struggle with this embroidery stitching. So what you want to do is for every stitch, make sure all of the stitches are nice and clean. Pull that thread through straight so you can get a really clean stitch. So I did the side of the leaf off camera. So I'm going to start on the flowers. And what the flowers are they're French knots. I do like a 3 loop on the French knots just to show that it's a flower instead of like a dot. So if you do 3 loops like so and then insert the needle back, then it'll create a larger French knot. So the more loops, the more bigger the knot. So I haven't did anything farther than 3, so I'm not sure how big it would look or if it would look good at all. So you would want to try that on your own. If you'd like a detailed version of this, check out Paige Evans. I will have her linked below. She has a great tutorial on how to embroidery stitch on paper. Real quick, if you'd like more inspiration from talented crafters, check out the hashtag, that's ScrapDivaDesigns, and you can find other talented creators creating with her dies and get some more inspiration from all of the design team members and everyone else that are using her dies. So as I finish the French knots, this is what I have so far. I'm going to do the other leaf off camera, and it's time to glue the base to the layering piece there. And so I am using hot glue. You are able to use your liquid glue if you like. I do like my MemoryDex cards to feel like chipboard. So reason why I use glue, hot glue. So I did do that off camera. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to pierce some holes for my embroidery thread. I'm using this piercing tool here that I picked up from Amazon. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to do the rest off camera. So what I do here is I just skip one of those die cut stitches. And so I'll do a hole, skip a stitch, and do another hole. So it's fairly easy to follow because the stitch is already there. If you are doing it freehand without the stitching there, be sure to pierce your holes evenly apart. That way your embroidery stitch is even and nice and clean. Here I'm going to go ahead and finish off my stitching. For a detailed tutorial on how to embroidery stitch, check out Paige Evans. She's linked below. So I'm going to do a few with you here, and then I will do the rest off camera. So for each stitch, just be sure to pull the embroidery thread and making sure that none of the strings are misplaced, and also your thread doesn't get tangled. Sometimes it will do that. So I'm stitching on acetate. So a little tip for stitching on acetate is the other side, the opposite side of the acetate is sharp. So it will be careful because the embroidery thread will get stuck on that. So you once you start, just practice with acetate first before you start working on the wings, adding a base to the back of those wings to cover up all of the embroidery thread. I'm using hot glue to do that. And it's done. Next, I'm gathering the bee stripes. I did add some holes to one of the stripes. Going to add some holes to the other two to demonstrate. Starting off with the bottom stripe, I'm going to add 3 holes with the piercing tool, like so. So I'm going to use some embroidery thread in yellow and as well as a different stitch. So the stitch that I'm using is a straight stitch. It's also going to be very wide, so just a different type of stitch and very simple and easy to do. Here I'm demonstrating it in fast speed real quick here just to show you how straight the stitches are. Next, I'm gluing it onto the base of the bee and at the very tip of the bee as well. So gluing that with some hot glue, using my tweezers to position it in the right spot as well as keeping the glue for my fingers. And this is what the bee looks like. The body is done. I added the stripes and I'm adding some double-sided adhesive foam to the sides there for the wings. The wings are going to be placed as if the bee was in flight, and I just wanted that layer there. It just gives it some dimension and also some character. So I just love how it turned out. The bee is such a cute bee. I just love it in the collection, and I also love the embroidery thread on it. It just gives it like a very homey handmade feel. So all of that is done there. You can also add a flower to the middle of those wings. And so now it's time to build the banner. So the bee is placed at the upper right hand corner of the tulip. So it is a bee, and we're going to add the word happy. So be happy. That's what I was going for. My whole theme for the Blooming Wild collection was happiness. And so that's what I did at Blooming Wild weekend. So it was based on this. So I just love how everything turned out. I'm also using the Tim Holtz word pieces there. Not word pieces, the alpha pieces. And so this is what it looks like. I did use that punch, I failed to mention. I'm also using some twine. This is completely a Shar Crane scrap lift. I just love how she used the twine like the Michaels stickers. I just love that banner. And I just put it on here. I thought it went well with the blue. I had so many of this twine already that I picked up from Michaels way back when. I'm also using some double-sided adhesive to uplift the bee on that tulip to give it more dimension. It's just slightly layered, so it doesn't look too bad. I don't go all out on the layers on this card. So just wanted to keep it very simple, light, homey feel and handmade feel. So there is the banner. I'm going to glue that with hot glue. Again, you can use any type of glue. You can also use some double-sided adhesive on each of the fishtail banner there on the back of that, and I give it some dimension. I didn't do so on this one. I just used hot glue and glued on my banner. I love all the colors there, and I just love how this MemoryDex turned out. This concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Also, take a look at the description below and check out the links